We are getting married very soon, she said, and I froze there without any reaction. Not happiness first, just silence spreading because something felt off, something I couldn't explain. She smiled softly, like everything was perfect, but her eyes didn't match that same soft smile. I asked her slowly, "Are you really happy?" She paused for seconds, then said yes, quietly. That yes felt heavy, not light, not joyful, like she was convincing, not expressing truly. "We are getting married," she repeated again, like saying it twice, would make it real. My heart didn't celebrate, it just stayed confused. Because love should feel light, not like quiet pressure. I looked at her, trying to understand, but she looked away, avoiding my eyes. That's when I noticed something deeper hidden. Her hands were shaking, just slightly, but real. I stepped closer slowly. She stepped back softly. That distance said everything, more than her words. I asked her again, "What's really going on?" She forced a smile, said everything is fine, but nothing felt fine. Not in that moment. "We are getting married very soon," she whispered, and I felt that word like a final decision, not a celebration, more like surrender. I stayed quiet again because I felt it. This wasn't her choice. At least, not fully. I said his name. She didn't respond, just looked down quietly, like truth was heavy. I asked, "Do you love him?" She didn't answer. Silence filled everything, and that was enough, because silence sometimes speaks louder than truth. She turned away slowly, trying to stay strong, but I saw her eyes fighting something inside. "We are getting married," she said once more, but this time softer, almost like breaking. And I realized then she wasn't telling me, she was telling herself, trying to accept it. I felt anger rising, not at her, but at the situation, at everything unfair. I said, "You don't want this." She stayed silent again. That silence confirmed everything more than any answer. She finally spoke slowly. "It's not that simple." And I understood instantly. It never is. I asked, "Why him? Why this sudden decision?" She closed her eyes briefly, like gathering strength, then said, "Family wants this." And I stopped breathing because that explained everything, every forced emotion. "We are getting married because they decided, not because she chose, not because she loved." I stepped back slowly, trying to process it, because this wasn't love. This was pressure. She looked at me again, eyes now slightly wet, and said, "I tried, but I couldn't fight." That broke something inside me, more than anything else, because I knew her. She was never weak, but even strong hearts get tired sometimes. "We are getting married very soon," she whispered, and this time her voice cracked. That was the truth. not the earlier smiles. I moved closer slowly, but stopped halfway because I didn't know if I should stay or walk away quietly. Before it hurts more, I asked one last thing. Do you want me? She didn't answer immediately, just looked at me, and that look said everything she couldn't say, but she turned away before I could hold it because reality was stronger than feelings now. We are getting married, she said one last time, and this time it sounded final, not emotional, just accepted. And I stood there, realizing something painful. This wasn't our story ending, it was taken from us before it could begin fully. Before we had a chance, she walked away slowly, without looking back, and I stayed there with unfinished words because sometimes love doesn't fail, it gets taken away before it survives. And I knew then this wasn't over, not for me, not yet. We are getting married. Her words kept echoing even after she left. They didn't leave me. I stood there alone, but not really alone because her silence stayed louder than everything. I tried to move, but my feet didn't, like something inside me refused to accept this. We are getting married very soon, she said, but nothing felt right about that sentence. It didn't sound like love, it sounded like pressure. I kept thinking, why? Why didn't I act? Why didn't I stop her? When I had time, maybe I was scared, or maybe I believed that things would change on their own somehow. But they didn't change. They ended instead. I walked slowly back, mind full of noise, every memory returning, every moment replaying, her smile, her silence, her unfinished answers. They all made sense now. Too late to matter. We are getting married. That line hurt differently now because I understood what it really meant. It meant she lost not just me, but herself too. In this decision, I sat down quietly, trying to breathe normally, but my chest felt tight, like something missing. I checked my phone again. No new message, no explanation, no goodbye properly. Just that one sentence, ending everything. I typed her name, then stopped midway because what could I say? That changes reality. I wanted to fight, but against who? Her family, her situation, or destiny itself? Some battles don't have winners, only losses. And this felt like one, a silent losing fight. We are getting married, she said softly, but now I heard the hidden pain inside. I remembered her eyes, that quiet fear, that silent asking without words. Maybe she wanted me to stop her. Maybe she hoped I would say something, but I stayed silent. And now it's over. That regret hit harder than losing her because maybe this ending was also my fault. I stood up suddenly, heart beating faster because something inside me wasn't ready to quit. Not like this. Not without trying. I grabbed my phone, dialed her number. This time she answered. After a long pause, her voice came slowly. Hello, and I felt everything rush back instantly. I said her name. She stayed quiet. Then I said clearly, "Don't do this." She didn't reply quickly, just breathing softly. I continued speaking. Faster now. You don't want this. I know you don't. We both know this isn't right. She whispered slowly, "It's too late." And that word hit like truth. But I refused to accept it. It's never too late. If you still feel. She stayed silent again, fighting inside herself. I said, "Come with me. We can figure it out. We can fight this together, not alone." Her breathing changed slightly, like she was thinking, like hope returned. Just a little, but then she said softly, "I'm scared." And I understood more than before because fear controls even the strongest hearts. I said, "I'm here. You won't be alone. We can face everything, step by step." She didn't answer immediately, just stayed there. And that silence was not rejection, it was hesitation between fear and love. "We are getting married very soon," she said. But now that line didn't feel final. It felt like a question, waiting for change. I said one last thing before she spoke again. "Do you trust me?" And everything paused for that answer, because that was it. The real decision, not family, not pressure, just trust between two hearts. She took a deep breath, then said softly, "I don't know." And that broke me more than anything, because love without trust cannot survive, no matter how strong, no matter how deep. I closed my eyes slowly, accepting reality finally. Some stories don't end loudly, they fade slowly, between fear and silence, between love and doubt. She whispered sorry again, and this time it felt like goodbye, not hesitation. I didn't stop her now, because I understood you can't save someone who is not ready, even if they love you, even if it hurts. The call ended quietly. No dramatic ending, just silence again, like everything before. And I stood there, learning something painful. Sometimes love is real, but timing is wrong. Sometimes feelings are strong, but courage is missing. And sometimes you don't lose love, you lose the chance to keep it alive. "We are getting married," she said once, and now I know that wasn't happiness. That was goodbye, disguised as decision.